Peace and blessings. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, Lyric Poetry in Motion. Thank you for coming inside. Welcome. And today I want to just take a few moments of your time to share with you some of the things that I will be doing or have done to prepare my home and my pantry for these unprecedented times. This morning it was 28 degrees here in Atlanta as a low, and we're going to be with a high of the mid 40s for a few days. I believe that we're going to have a winter that we have not seen in quite some time. Pairing that with the current government shutdown, many families have been impacted by the inability to be paid or to even work, as well as many people not receiving their SNAP benefits and the impacts that Medicaid and Medicare may also have with the premiums could cause financial hardship to families. So I'm going to include tips and tricks or things that I've just done or that I may feel could be helpful to someone else. If you have any suggestions, tips and tricks of things that work for you, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. Because it's chilly, I'm going to start with talking about ways to alternatively warm your home. If you have a fireplace, it's always good to have firewood available. This, of course, was purchased from a store, but many people locally will sell firewood by the bundles, and you'll be able to put them in an area where they'll be warm and dry, and you'll be able to burn those. If you have a fireplace, make sure that it is clean, make sure that it is vented, and keep a fire extinguisher around you at all times. If possible, make sure that there is a screen behind your or in front of your fireplace to catch any embers that may fall from the fireplace, and always monitor the fireplace. Never leave a fire burning unattended, and especially don't leave home. Even if you think the fire's mostly out and there are just some red flames or embers, don't leave that unattended. That could create catastrophe. If you need to start a fire in your fireplace and are not versed in doing so, you can always use the lint from your filter that is in your dryer. In the absence of kindling, that is a great fire starter, but it doesn't take a lot. And you want to make sure that it's in an area where you can control it if it blazes and you're ready to prepare the wood, or you can stick it in between the wood to start the fire. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to find alternative methods of cooking, you can always grill outdoors. You can also use a camping stove. You can cook over an open fire, but you want to make sure you're doing so safely. If you're in the home and you're using any type of gas or butane cans for camping stoves, which I do not recommend, but if there is a necessity and you have to, make sure that the home is ventilated, and please make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector and a gas detector handy, as well as a fire extinguisher. This is the one that I am currently using, but there are many on the market that may be of assistance. Right now is a great time to stock up on those vegetables that may be at a great cost. You can cut them up and freeze them in freezer bags, and you can also start the canning process if you're familiar with that. I am not familiar with canning, although I would like to get into it, but I do know how to slice up some veggies, put them in a freezer bag, and store them. Staples such as lentils, split peas, black beans, quinoa, well, that's flaxseed, rice, those are always going to come in handy. Make sure that you look at the expiration date because and you want to make sure that you have seasonings in case you want to enhance the flavor. I know if you're in a situation where you are in need and have to eat the same thing over and over, adding some stock, some broth, seasonings could entirely change the flair of a meal and make it more palatable. I want to show you grits, pastas, canned goods. They too are a staple that you should have in your refrigerator. Pasta sauces, you can get paste as far as tomatoes. You can get fresh tomatoes. Again, if you're jarring, you can have those. You can create your own sauces using a tomato paste And if you're able, you can buy various spaghetti sauces to assist as well. I myself am a fan of sauerkraut and kimchi. They are wonderful. They have amazing health benefits. They are built to last, and I think they're a staple to have in a kitchen. If you are purchasing eggs in bulk, I know they're pretty expensive right now. Definitely check your expiration date to make sure that they're not going to expire by the time you need to use them all. And if you find that boiling a few to eat over a range of days is more helpful, do that. Or if you know that there is a risk that your power will be out, you may want to pre-boil. And I only keep eggs for, I'd say, 2 days at the most. Some people may stretch it longer than that. I don't particularly. That is my preference. However, if you have someone locally that has chickens and they're selling eggs, that's also a nice alternative to purchasing eggs. Stock up on your water. Whether you need drinking water, whether you'll need to have fresh water for cooking, or if you have to, you can even fill your tub up with water if you find that you believe your pipes will freeze or that there's a reason that you won't have water for a period of days. These are all tips to help you stay hydrated and to stock up on water. If you are able to buy in bulk, do so. You can get sardines, tuna, large cans as far as your vegetables. I have a couple of cans of soup that came in a case. Those ramen, they always come in handy. And if I need to make any type of, I do have nuts, peanut butter, honey, raisins. You can use granola, but I have oatmeal currently. And you can mix those up. You don't need any heat to do so. You can actually mix those in a mixing bowl or whatever you have. Lay them out on a cookie sheet or on parchment paper. Even put them inside of a muffin tin to make yummy little bites. Packed full of protein, goodness, and they're non-perishable up to a certain extent because it does have honey. But at the same time, it doesn't require cooking, and it's something that is quick. You can make with your kids, or you can make it by yourself. You can make it when there's a need, or you can pre-prep it, make it, and put them in individuals' bags as a little snack bar. Having dried fruits, dates, you can have mango, you can have apples. Having dried fruits are also really great to have if you're able to do that. Your local co-op, your farmer's market, you can buy those pretty much at any grocery store, I believe, but I typically shop at the farmer's market for mine, or one of the Asian markets. Oatmeal is great to keep on hand, popcorn, and always think ahead. If there's a situation you have where there is no way for you to use a microwave, if you do use a microwave, these are things that you can cook on an open flame. And with popcorn, I've made that at a campsite, so you can cook it again on an open flame, but just be mindful. Have your oven mitts available, a fire extinguisher nearby, and they can be yummy snacks during challenging times. And if you're someone that needs things like chocolate or coffee, don't omit those when you're shopping and you're stacking up on things, because when you're struggling, having something that really is yummy to you will probably be beneficial if you're able to. Another staple, I think I discussed the ramen noodles, but crackers. These crackers right here, I think I've been eating these since I was a kid. These crackers, any type of crackers, these are probably not the best crackers for me, but they do the job. When I was a kid, I remember times where those crackers, topped with butter, topped with jelly or peanut butter, might have been what I needed or had to eat to keep my belly full. And that has not changed. I pick them up and I keep them in the house. I definitely like them with soups, but if you have a cracker that you prefer, get that cracker, and it can have multiple purposes. So that's a good staple as well, if you're able.